Egypt was once my home, I was a slave. Helpless and sick to roam, but I did pray. When I looked up to heaven, so Christ came to save us. Maybe in Canaan, Egypt behind, crossed over Jordan, my gladness to find. My soul is satisfied, no longer bound. I'm living with Jesus up in Canaan right now. Satan, they have you bound with fetters strong. Look up to higher grounds, will not be long. Christ the Savior, your soul has found. You sing this song, I'm living in Canaan now. Egypt behind, crossed over Jordan, my gladness divine. My soul is satisfied, no longer bound. I'm living with Jesus up in Canaan right now. Egypt behind, crossed over Jordan, my gladness divine. My soul is satisfied, no longer bound. I'm living with Jesus up in Canaan right now. My soul is satisfied. My soul is satisfied. I'm living with Jesus up in Canaan right now. Got a lot to tell you about the Lord today. How He took me in and washed my sins away. Filled me with the Spirit and amazing grace. Promised me a mansion and a resting place. Told me how the angel band would shout and sing. How He gonna make the hills and valleys green. Maybe that's the reason that I feel so fine. All my weary troubles have been left behind. I gotta do, Lord, be there, dwelling in my heart today. Because the love of Jesus came into my heart to stay. I never realized that I had lost my way until the love of Jesus washed my sins away. I gotta do, Lord, heal in my heart today. When I stop and think about the present day, how the worldly people pass the time away, makes me kind of wonder what the future holds. How we gonna ever reach the sinful souls? We can only reach them if we kneel and pray. Try to draw a picture of a judgment day. Live a life before them that will testify. Prove you have a blessing from the Lord on high. I gotta do, Lord, be there, dwelling in my heart today. Because the love of Jesus came into my heart to stay. I never realized that I had lost my way until the love of Jesus washed my sins away. I gotta do, Lord, heal in my heart today. I never realized that I had lost my way until the love of Jesus washed my sins away. I gotta do, Lord, heal in my heart, heal in my heart, heal in my heart today.
What a joyful group you look like tonight. We're so honored to be able to just share God's word and song with you. We are Glory Road. Over here to my right, far right, is Jeff Dillon, our tenor. Right next to me is John Dillon, his little brother.
That's right.
And between them is Jack Dillon, their daddy. And I'm Mike Lundy. I'm just kind of adopted into this group here, and I have a good time, and I'm so thankful they let me sing with them. Our most important person here, Helen Squire, is our piano player, and we are so blessed to have her. We're even more blessed to have our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, right here with us, too.
And you get such a warm feeling from the audience.
But I'm still nervous.
He is a great, glorious Savior. We just want to praise Him and worship Him tonight.
There is not a mother, sister, friend, or brother who loves the way that Jesus can. He proved His love for me when He died on Calvary. He gave His life for fallen man. His love is a boundless love that reaches down and touches me. His love is an endless love that will last for all eternity. Jesus wants to love you, there is none above you. You are precious in His sight. He will never fail you when the doubts assail you. He'll be with you day and night. His love is a boundless love and it reaches down and touches me. His love is an endless love that will last for all eternity. Jesus wants to love you, there is none above you. You are precious in His sight. He will never fail you when the doubts assail you. He'll be with you day and night. His love is a boundless love and it reaches down and touches me. His love is an endless love that will last for all eternity. His love is a boundless love and it reaches down and touches me. His love is an endless love that will last for all eternity. His love, His love, His love, His love, His love, His love, His love is a boundless love.
My name's next on the list to talk, and they put my name down there because if they didn't put my name down there, I wouldn't talk. So, this is it. We are just up here to have fun, praise the Lord, and we thank the Lord that He gives us the opportunity to do it. And if He's given you that opportunity this evening, this afternoon, if you feel like singing along with us, feel free to do it. We're just out here to have fun. Our next song, it's going to go a little different wise, a little different style. And this, I don't know, I say it's the 50s. But then I wasn't alive during the 50s, so
But we're going to try it. Here it goes. And watch my dad. I'm going to embarrass him now, but we're working on a little doo-wop.
he can't dance.
A boy looked up at his father and asked, "Dad, I know the Bible talks about Jesus, but have you ever met Him?" "No, son, not face to face." "Then how do you know that He is here?" "Son, I see Him and I hear Him all around us." "Tell me, Daddy, tell me what you see and what you hear."
Have you heard a baby cry? Seen the stars appear in the skies and touch all the Master's hand? Have you seen a green oak tree, a growth that blows so merrily? It's the time
Jeff, it's my turn to speak. Did you have a joke or something you wanted to tell?
I wanted to get a drink of water.
Okay. Okay. Well, this next song we're going to sing is called I Heard It First on the Radio. And this is a very nice song. And my dad usually introduces this song. He says, "Can you remember when there was no TV?" I can't, Jeff can.
Mike, you?
So anyway, you heard everything on the radio then. And so we just want to bring you back to those long gone days, but lovely memories days. I heard it first on the radio.
Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. rescue me, and I heard it on the radio. Alas, and did my Savior bleed, that captive spirits could be free, and I heard it on the radio. My soul has found a resting place until I meet Him face to face, and I heard it on the radio. I love to tell the story true, and those who know still love it too. Oh, what a precious friend we have in Him. And with glory saints will tell, 'twill be the theme they love so well. And we heard it on the radio.
Yes, friends, you heard it first on the radio. And you can still hear it this day. In fact, you can hear it every Sunday morning at 7:30 to 8:30 on 1530 AM KHPY radio with Ralph Brown and the Gospel
And we
Jubilee.
heard it on the radio. Yes, we heard it on the radio.
thankful that the sunlight's coming through. We thank God for the sunlight, but sometimes it hits in your eyes. And as some famous person once said, this too shall pass. We've been fortunate and had lots of fun in singing all different styles of music, including barbershop and some 50s stuff, some convention songs and different things like that. And something you don't hear in gospel very often is the blues. And we have one of the best piano players around. We think so anyway. She and John have got together to do a little portion of a song in the blues style.
Well, we try.
That glory train.
I wanna ride that glory train.
That glory train.
Now when my race earth is through, there's one thing I wanna do. It's to get aboard and ride that glory train. Now there's a railroad train that's leaving, just a rolling down the track, and the passengers on board, boys, are never coming back. Oh, that glory train's leaving, that train I long to ride, and I'll meet you up in heaven where God's children all abide.
I wanna ride
that glory train.
That glory train.
I wanna ride that glory train.
That glory train.
Now when my race is through, there's one thing I wanna do. It's to get aboard and ride that glory train.
That glory train.
Hear the thunder of the engines, get aboard her if you can. For that final destination is that far-off promised land, where the Master will be waiting in his home way up above, and it'll fill our hearts with gladness with his great eternal love.
I wanna ride that glory train.
That glory train.
I wanna ride that glory train.
That glory train.
Now when my race is through, there's one thing I wanna do. It's to get aboard and ride that glory train.
Ride that glory train. Ride that train. When you step up to the station and this train's about to leave, be sure you have a ticket if you really do believe. Now the Master's waiting for you in his good home up above. It'll fill our hearts with gladness in his great eternal love.
I wanna ride that glory train.
That glory train.
I wanna ride that glory train.
That glory train.
Now when my race is through, there's one thing I wanna do. It's to get aboard and ride that glory train.
That glory train. Ride that glory That'll be a happy morning over the sea, when the cares of life shall pass away forever. Music there to welcome all the ransomed and free, when they ring the bells of heaven on that day. Well, ring the bells of heaven, ring the bells of glory, when redeemed are gathered home for him.
On a hallelujah morning,
Everybody singing, shouting, what a happy meeting, when they ring the bells of heaven on that day.
all right, come on, keep it up. Get the air moving this way if you would.
Friends are all rejoicing through this unfriendly land. Glory land is waiting all the way. The sun is ever shining. That'll be a glad homecoming, won't it be grand? When they ring the bells of heaven on that day. Ring the bells of heaven, ring the bells of glory, when redeemed are gathered home for him.
On a hallelujah morning,
Everybody singing, shouting, what a happy meeting, when they ring the bells of heaven on that day. Well, ring the bells of heaven, ring the bells of glory, when redeemed are gathered home for him. On the hallelujah morning, everybody singing, shouting, what a happy meeting, when they ring the bells of heaven on that day. Yes, when they ring the bells of heaven on that day.
well, you like that kind of singing, huh? Well, it's too bad that song's over. But we're glad to be here. This is the first time in a long time that we've been at this church. And first time I'd ever heard Glory Road. They did a great job. Yeah. I mean, those guys can sing so high. I mean, it's like following the three tenors and Jack, you know, but three tenors and Jack. Well, that's, but anyway. But we're glad to be here. We have a brand new guy that's only been with us a short time. And in fact, I think this is just about the third weekend out with us. And to be quite honest with you, he has absolutely no idea what he's doing. If he stumbles onto the right part every now and then, we're just tickled to death. So I'll tell you what, get your mic from over here. I need to keep an eye on you on this one. So, all right, stay right over here. All right. Just follow me. Right time. Just go with it. Okay. All right, here we go.
When the storm clouds rise and freeze my soul, stand by me, stand by me, stand by me. When the storms draw nigh and the billows roll, stand by me, stand by me. Stand by me when the day grows dark and long. Stand by me if I lose my soul. Till we reach heaven's shore, where all troubles are o'er, there to be forevermore. Stand by me. If tomorrow should bring me pain and grief, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Underneath your wings, let me find relief. Stand by me, stand by me, stand by me.
That's enough.
Stand by me when the day grows dark and long. Stand by me if I lose my soul. Till we reach heaven's shore,
Don't do that.
where all troubles are o'er, there to be forevermore. Stand by me. There to be forevermore. Stand by me. Stand by me. Moses stood on holy ground, far from God descended down, set the roadside bush on fire. Then the Lord did there explain, through his servant should remain all the echoes from the bush on fire, the bush on fire. I can hear the echoes from the burning bush. How they thrill my soul. I can hear the echoes from the burning bush. Point me to the goal, and I no more am doubting, but
With the joy I'm shouting.
with no thought of shame to blush, no shame to blush. This my song shall ever be, words that are so sweet to me, echoes from the burning bush, the burning bush. God sent out his only son just to ransom everyone by the echoes from the fire. That the God of every earthly land would not pick nor choose a man, for his blood would save us from the fire, eternal fire. I can hear the echoes from the burning bush. How they thrill my soul. I can hear the sweet echoes from
They point me to the goal, and I no more in doubting, but with joy I'm shouting, with no thought of shame to blush. But if my song shall ever be words that are so sweet to me, echoes from the burning bush, the burning bush. Oh, the echoes from George burning bush. How they thrill my soul. Oh, the echoes from George Bush. They point me to the goal, and I no more in doubting, but with joy I'm shouting, with no thought of shame to blush. This my song shall ever be, words that are so sweet to me, echoes from the burning bush. Thank you. You've heard all kinds of music already tonight, different styles. I want to do a song now that goes back to the very beginning days of gospel music. When quartet music first got started, the different music companies would send quartets out with their books, and they would go to various places and they'd sing these things and they'd sell their books. And there was a lot of great music written back then, but there was a guy, I don't know what was with this particular writer, but he seemed to have it in for quartets. He wouldn't just write, you know, a verse and a chorus. This guy wrote 4 different choruses that all have to be sung at the same time. I mean, we had to send everybody off into a separate room just to learn their parts. And, you know, we've gotten to the point now, we can just all get to the end of the chorus at the same time, we're thrilled. So, now, we're going to do it out of the book, just like they did in the old days, but now, we're going to do the first chorus just like always. When we get to the chorus the second time, we'll have each guy sing his part for you so you can hear all the different parts. Now they're all very important, but by far, the tenor part is the most important part of this whole song, so I'm counting anybody.
No pressure.
So I'll tell you what, when we're done here and we're ready to leave, if you do a good job on this, we go out to eat, I'll let you supersize whatever you want.
Just what I need.
Yeah. Big fries, big Coke, the whole thing. All right, here we go. It's called Leave Your Sorrows. Pilgrims for Jesus, we are happy and free, bound for regions of perfect song. Serving Him truly gives us full victory. Leave your sorrows and come along. Why should children not be sad? Lift loud voices in glad jubilee. Oh, dream loud, things are done. My brother, leave your sorrows and come with me. Nothing could cause us to turn back in the race, bound for regions of perfect song. Jesus abundantly supplies us with grace. Leave your sorrows and come along. Why should children of God be sad? Lift our voices in jubilee, keep singing and be glad. Things are not bad. Leave your sorrows and come with me. Why should we be sad? The children of God be sad. Oh, let us lift our grateful voices in glad jubilee. Oh, be glad, for things are not too bad. Leave your sorrow and come along and go with me.
Why should the children of God be sad? Lift our voices in jubilee. Oh, be glad.
Wait.
Things are...
There's no rest there. Well, Murray went and spit on the book when he coughed. Murray's on.
Why should children of God be sad? Lift our voices in jubilee. Oh, be glad. Things are not bad, my brother. Leave your sorrows and come with me.
Why should the children of God be sad? sings a perfect song. So Jesus abundantly supplies us with grace. Leave your sorrows and come along. Well, why should you just be sad? Let us live our blessings for you will be clean. Hold your glad. Things are not bad. Leave your sorrows and come with me. Leave your sorrows and come along with me.
Tell you what, I want to feature, we're going to feature the new guy. Because he hadn't done anything all night. And how many of you were at the Great Western Quartet Convention up in Sacramento? A bunch of you, okay. I think we still have that one lady's credit card too. We've been eating off of it for about 3 months now. We've been the opening group for the Quartet Convention the last 4 years, and just found out we're supposed to open again next year, so we're looking forward to that. But when we've been up there last year, a year before, we had just finished singing our opening stand, and we went over to the exhibit hall there where the booths are. And a guy came up to me and he says, excuse me, he says, I'm a songwriter. And you know, I really like what you guys did. And he said, it's been a real struggle for me to get somebody to listen to my songs. And you know, I said, I just enjoyed your program, and it pleased me so much if you just listen to some of my songs and maybe sing one of them someday. And so he gave us the stuff. It happens all the time up there. We get lots of songwriters. And he gave us the stuff, and we said thanks. And about 10 minutes later, he was back. You know, have you listened to my songs yet? Oh yeah, went on like that for 3 days. I mean, he just kind of making laps around the building. And he was a nice guy, don't get me wrong. What was his name?
Gaither.
Gaither, Bill Gaither, that's right. What a pest, yeah. We finally got a chance to listen to that song he gave us. I think it's turned out pretty good. Listen to I Believe in a Hill, called Mount Calvary. I believe that this life, with its great mysteries, surely someday will come to an end. Oh, but faith, it will conquer the darkness and death, and will lead me at last to my friend.
And I believe that the Christ who was nailed on the cross has the power to change lives today. For He changed me completely. A new life is mine. That is why by the cross I will stay.
I believe in a It's no more. I simply to the old crying, come on.
On a cold and windy street, an old man goes to sleep as the snow begins to fall up in Chicago. There's no room left at the mission where he became a Christian, so he lays there on the sidewalk and dreams of his new home, where no one sleeps on the golden streets of heaven, and no one's cold and hungry or alone. And somewhere in the night, Jesus walks down Main Street and takes another homeless to his home. And there's a lady dressed in rags, putting old cans in her bags as the rain begins to fall down in Atlanta. A cardboard box, her only home, it holds everything she owns. But does anyone really love her? Will they miss her when she's gone? For no one sleeps on the golden streets of heaven, and no one's cold and hungry or alone. And somewhere in the night, Jesus walks down Main Street and takes another homeless to his home. And the nights they're cold and lonely, and they need someone to only help them till they reach their final home. Oh, no one sleeps on the golden streets of heaven. No one's cold and hungry or alone. Somewhere tonight, Jesus walks down Main Street and takes another homeless to his home. And on a cold and windy street, an old man goes to sleep as the snow begins to fall in Chicago.
How many of you are singing the quartet for the very first time tonight? Can I see your hands?
Where have they been?
I don't know, we've been up here like 25 minutes already. I know it's hot. Boy. Let me tell you who the guys are real quickly. Over on the end, singing the baritone part, he was the original member of the quartet from 1992 to 1997, and then decided he needed to stay home and do whatever it was his wife wanted him to do. And he was gone for a couple years, and then last year ago March, he found out we needed somebody. And so he called me up one day and just begged and pleaded and cried, "Oh, please, please let me back in the quartet." That was sad, it really was. We hadn't really made up our mind what we were going to do, and we went out to the bus one day to go sing, and I opened the door, and there he was. We haven't been able to get rid of him, so he's back. His name's Greg Brandt. Sweating next to Greg, singing the ladies' part. You know, the the hardest thing about running a gospel quartet is trying to find somebody that looks like a man and can sing like a girl. All right. You just hope some freak of nature comes along, and we got ours. I tell you, we go to Rockport, Texas every year for a gospel music festival right after the first of the year. And we were down there in the hotel getting ready to go over to the auditorium. And I went into the room there where Murney was, and he was sitting at the table just working on something. I said, Murney, what are you doing? He said, I'm working on this puzzle, but it's the toughest thing I've ever seen. He said, I've been at this for 2 hours, haven't got a single piece of it done yet. I said, well, really, what's it supposed to be? He said, well, it's supposed to be a rooster. I said, a rooster? Let me see the box. He hands me the box. I just kind of laughed. I said, tell you what, Murney, let's put the cornflakes away. We'll find something else for you to do, all right? That's Murney Metzler on the tenor part. Come here, son. Standing next to me is the new guy. He's got a master's degree in music, which means he's way overeducated to be singing with us. But I do worry just a little bit about the education that he received over the years there. See, they had an emergency at their house. His wife was working around the house and fell and hit her head, knocked herself completely out. And he was in a panic, ran, grabbed the phone, dialed 911, said, I need an ambulance at my house right now. And the dispatcher said, okay, where do you live? He says, I live at 231 Eucalyptus Street. And the dispatcher said, can you spell that for me? And there was just a brief pause, and then finally Don came back on the line and said, how about if I just drag her over to Oak Street and you pick her up over there? How about giving Don Hofer a great hand, everyone? My name is Rick Moore. I get to sing whatever's left over when these guys are done. Have you enjoyed the bass singing so far tonight?
Still and lifeless, he lay upon his bed. He had not moved since he was just a baby. Still he longed to become a normal man. And now we don't know much about the men that carry the corners of his tattered bed that day. But if we may create an illustration, we'll see what these men might have had to say.
Suppose that first man said, I hate to doubt him, for Jesus touched my eyes when I was blind. He made me see, and there's no doubt about it, but this man's needs are more serious than mine.
Suppose that second man said, no need to bother, this man's condition will remain the same. Though Jesus, he touched my hand when it was withered, I don't believe he can heal a man so lame.
Suppose that third man said, I hate to question, but no one here is more skeptical than me. Though Jesus, he cleansed me when I was a leper, this helpless man will never walk the street.
Then every eye was turned to the fourth man to see how he might criticize and doubt. But all three men were startled with amazement when that fourth man stopped and said his name out loud. He said, my name is Lazarus, could I testify? My name is Lazarus, it feels good to be alive. When I in chains of death was bound, this man named Jesus pulled me out. If you think your little problem is too big for him to solve, take it from the one who's heard the mighty voice of God, the living testimony of his death-defying touch. My name is Lazarus. My name is Lazarus. Could I testify? My name is Lazarus. It feels good to be alive. When I in chains of death was bound, this man named Jesus called me out. If you think your little problem is too big for him to solve,
Take it from the one who's heard the mighty voice of God, a living testimony of his death-defying touch. My name is Lazarus. I'm a living testimony of his death-defying touch. My name is Lazarus.
I sing because I'm happy. Come on, help us out. And I sing because I'm free. Lord, I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. Well, I can sing because I'm happy. Because I'm free, Lord, I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I travel down a long and lonely road, sorrow of my pain and lot to bear. But then I met the Christ who took my heavy load, and since then I hear singing in the air. There's joy in the camp, the sinner has come home. Well, there's joy in the camp, rejoicing around the throne, singing and shouting the great redemption song. There's joy, wondrous joy in the camp. The angels in heaven are rejoicing around the throne, filling the lost courts so grand. They're singing because of one lost sheep who just come home. I know there must be joy in the camp. There's joy in the camp, the sinner has come home. There's joy in the camp, rejoicing around the throne, singing and shouting the great redemption song. There's joy, wondrous joy in the camp. There's joy in the camp, the sinner has come home. Now there's joy in the camp, rejoicing around the throne, singing and shouting the great redemption song. Out of the darkness and into the light, out of the blindness and jubilant sight, out of the sorrow to heaven so bright. There's joy, wondrous joy in the camp. There's joy in the camp, the sinner has come home. Well, there's joy in the camp, rejoicing around the throne, singing and shouting the great redemption song. Out of the darkness and into the light, out of the blindness and jubilant sight, out of my sorrow to heaven so bright. There's joy, wondrous joy in the camp. There's joy, wondrous joy in the camp. There's joy, wondrous joy in the camp. Amen. How many know that song is scriptural? Amen. The Bible says that when one soul is saved and one soul comes home, that the heavens rejoice. Amen. Amen. How many feel like you're in heaven tonight? Amen. Don't lie to me. Do not lie to me. And I ain't going to ask how many feel like you're somewhere else other than heaven. It is good for us to be here. I just want you to know that I am going to have to call Arizona. We were over there last weekend in Phoenix, and I said some terrible things about that city. About the heat. I've got to call and eat crow, you know what I mean? I'm glad to be here tonight anyway, amen? How many are glad that you came tonight? Come on. I'll tell you one thing, y'all are the most selfish bunch of people I ever saw, though. Take them little fans and go up this way with them things. What is this back toward you all the time? Push them up here. There you go. Praise the Lord. Let me take just a minute and introduce folks that weren't here when we were supposed to be here a couple months ago. How many were here? Was it 2 or 3 months ago? Where's Harold at? February. How many was here and we were supposed to sing and I had to come and apologize? It's their fault. They received, or Chris anyway, received a special award from the music company he works for, and they shipped him to New York and put him up at a nice fancy motel, fed him, and they still like California better than they do New York.
Go to New York and you'll find out.
Yeah. She said she even likes Arizona better than New York. But I said,
something about them being in New York, and somebody said, New York City. Yeah, that's where they were. Y'all forgive them. She's here tonight, and I make you a promise. She'll sing her heart out for you tonight to make up for the other night. This is my baby girl. Been on stage with me for about 5 years now. Joined me when she was 16. Doing a great job singing. Her name is Kim. Make her welcome, please. Don't get in front of me. This young man here joined the group about a year and a half ago. Him and Kimberly had become friends back in Nashville at a music school back there, and kind of saw each other, you know, and started following each other around and accidentally running into each other. And well, what are y'all laughing about? You did the same thing. When school was over, Chris went back to play for the New Hensons in Nashville, and Kim came home to sing with us. And I was very happy until I got the first phone bill. Next time Chris called, I said, let me talk to him. I said, no matter what they're paying you, it's got to be cheaper than these phone bills. Come work for us. So Chris came to play bass for us and did a great job. And then we needed someone to run sound. So Chris played bass and ran sound for us. And then we needed someone to help drive the bus. And Chris played bass and ran sound and drove the bus. A few months ago, I needed a lead singer. Guess what? Chris now sings, plays the bass, runs sound, and drives the bus. I know a lot of you think that it's an awful lot to ask from such a little bitty guy, but he owes me a whole lot. A year ago this last month in June, I was kind enough out of the kindness of my heart to let him marry my daughter. Yeah, y'all are a lot happier about it than I am. I'm just kidding. My wife's here. I'm gonna get in trouble when I get home tonight for sure. But you know, how many know that the Lord works in wondrous ways? Amen. Amen. Chris come and asked me like a gentleman. He come and talked to me alone. And me being the kind of guy that I am, I couldn't be found. I walked around the house and he was following me around like a little puppy dog. But in my scripture time there that I was reading, just to show you how the Lord works. Scripture time I was reading there, and just before Chris asked me, I was reading in the Old Testament where the son-in-law used to have to work for the father-in-law for 7 years. We serve a great, big, wonderful God, amen? I got him locked up for 6 more years, ain't gonna cost me a dime. Tell you what, I'm proud of him. He's not only become a great member of the group, but a great member of my family. He's not my son-in-law, he's my son. Make welcome Chris Wooten, would you please? I'm having a good time tonight. I don't know about the rest of you. How many are looking for that happy day when he comes back? Amen? Well, one of these days it won't be long. I'll be going home. Going to a land I've never known. Around God's great white throne. It will be a day of victory when we get on that shore. Living with all the saints of old, praising Christ forevermore. Well, it's gonna be a happy, happy day on the great day when we will fly away. It's gonna be a day of jubilee, where the blessed Lord we'll see. Shouting hallelujah. hallelujah, glory all around. There with our loved ones rising from the ground, we will sing a new song, praise Christ the Lamb, on the hallelujah day. Well, you will never have a fear or fret, troubles will be rolled away. And when we've been there 10,000 years, it will seem like a day. Just to get inside those gates of pearl, where I shall then be whole. We'll see the walls of jasper, streets of gold, and the glorious sights untold. Well, it's gonna be a happy, happy day on the great day when we will fly away. It's gonna be a day of jubilee, where the blessed Lord will see. Shouting hallelujah, glory all around. There with our loved ones rising from the ground, we will sing a new song, praising Christ the Lamb, on the hallelujah day. Well, shouting hallelujah, glory all around.
There with our loved ones rising from the ground,
And we will sing a new song, praising Christ the Lamb,
on the hallelujah.
When I said I was saved, I did not say perfect. His precious love is no license to sin. He's leading me home. I know I can make it. You see, I'm not where I'm headed, but I'm sure not where I've been. And you can get down on me, but don't you get down on Jesus. Call it my fault if my light is dim. His word is still true.
His word is still true.
His grace is sufficient. Oh, yeah. So if I stumble, don't you blame it on him. Why, he looked my way. Still a great mystery. But like a thief on the cross, there's no way I could lose. Oh, in his arms of love, you know he knows just how to hold me. He came down from above just to walk a mile in my shoes. And you can get down on me, but don't you get down on Jesus. Call it my fault when my light is dim. You see, his word is still true. His word is still true. And his grace is sufficient. Oh, yeah.
knows us very well knows that I don't usually know what song we're going to do next until time to do it. And I just looked at Kim and she looked at me like, oh Lord, we're stuck. What are we going to do? Come here, babe. This is my wife, my better half. Make her welcome, will you? We just finished a recording not long ago. It's been out about a month or so. And what we got to do on that recording was bring in some of our family members to do some singing with us. My son sings with us, my wife and my sister, and we got to do some songs with them. And this is a song that our minister of music at our church brought it to us, wanted us to do for the Christmas, or for the Easter pageant last year. And we learned this song, and it's just been a great song. She don't get to go with us very often, and if she did, she'd know better than to talk behind my back when I'm talking on stage. Come here. She hasn't even sang yet. She's got to have a drink of water. I don't know what the deal is. But this is a great, great song, and she got to sing it with us and did a great job. Now, when you go in the studio, you can ask any of the other groups that are here tonight. When you go into the studio and you think you know a song and you're ready to sing it, you go into the studio and you do it once, and the gentleman producing the record will say, no, we got to do it again and again and again. She was so nervous before she sang with us in the recording that she was having fits. I mean, she is all kinds of nervous. We went in the studio. We ran through it one time. Gentleman who produces our records said, okay, Nita, you got it. The rest of you, you got some stuff you got to fix. She said, well, I thought that was the way it was supposed to do it. I didn't know any better. But this is a great, great song. This is my wife, Nita. Make her welcome, would you please? This is a great song. I said, I wasn't there when he went up, but I'll be there when he comes down.
Was here
just what I'll be. I'll be like Him. I'll be like Him. I'll be like Him. Though I don't know just what I'll be. I'll be like Him. I'll be like Him. I shall see Him as He is, and that's good enough for me. I'll be like Him when He comes down. My eyes shall see King Jesus when He comes in clouds of glory. If I am sleeping, I'll be awakened from the grave. And if I remain, I'll hear the trumpets, joyful sound. I didn't see Him go up, but I'll see Him when He comes down. And if I remain, I'll hear the trumpet, joyful sound. Oh, I didn't see Him go up, but I'll see Him. I didn't see Him go up, but I'll see Him. I didn't see Him go up, but I'll see Him when He comes down. He comes
Come on, give the Lord a hand clap tonight. Come on. Amen. Amen. We're going to do one more before we turn it back. It helps when y'all clap a lot. Man, it feels a lot better up here right now. Whew. How many are looking forward to going to heaven? How many believe without a shadow of a doubt that if you do not go in the resurrection, that if you have got Christ living in your heart and you go by the way of the grave, that you're going to be saved? Amen? How many believe that if when they lay you in that grave, your soul will not be there, your soul will already be transported? Amen? This song says, I'll live again. Push play. Come on, help us out. Yes, the morning I am gone from this vale of tears. I'm going home to live again. I am going on a trip when I say goodbye. I'll live again over on the other side. I'll live again on that golden strand. I'll sing and shout with a mighty angel band. You'll see me rise beyond the starry skies. I'll live again over on the other side. I've a mansion over there built in beauty rare. I'm going home to live again. When they lay me in the grave, don't you weep for me. I'll live again over on the other
other side. I'll live again on that golden strand. I'll sing and shout with a mighty angel band. You'll see me rise beyond the starry skies. I'll live again over on the other side. Come on, Chris. I'll live again on that golden strand. I'll sing and shout with a mighty angel band. You'll see me rise beyond the starry skies. I'll live again over on the other side. I'll live again on that golden strand. I'll sing and shout with a mighty angel band. You'll see me rise beyond the starry skies. I'll live again over on the other side. I'll live again over on the other side. Amen.
we'd like to continue with the song Sweet Beulah Land. And that's just it's about our wonderful home that we're looking all forward to going to, Sweet Beulah Land.
I'm kind of homesick, old country, to which I never been before. No sad goodbye.
As we draw our portion to a close, us as a quartet would like to thank everybody who's come out today. It's a hot one up there, or out in here. You guys aren't fanning enough this way, but I realize how hot it is. And we do appreciate the effort you guys have made. I see little people out here, but they've been the best. It's tough to have little people sit like this for a long time. And they've been the best. Our last two, if you've heard us sing before, you've heard us sing these. These are our favorite two songs that we sing, and they're a lot of fun. Like I said before, if you feel like singing, sing along with us.
Daddy's saying, baby.
of the time we're going to have in glory singing together.
setting sun. Never again to part, no, never, no more sad goodbyes. Together forever with the Savior in the sweet by and by. And what a glad homecoming when we reach heaven's shore. Friends up there will greet us, never to part no more. Together we will sing forever with the heavenly band. We'll be praising Christ through endless ages over in the glory land.
Yeah, how about a nice hand for the band back here, huh? They work cheap, I know that.
It'd be joy to seek in Jesus on his heavenly throne. Praise will ring forever eternal, singing a happy song. Sorrow for God to make will be ended, no more dying up there. Home forever with the Savior, no more burdens to bear. And
the shore. Friends up there will greet us, never to part no more. Together we will sing forever in the heavenly land. We'll be praising Christ through endless ages over in the glory land. What a land, where each heaven's distant shore. Friends up there, never to part no more. Together we will sing forever with the heavenly band, praising Christ through endless ages over in the glory land. Praising Christ through endless ages over in the glory land. We'll be praising Christ through endless ages over in the glory land.
Thank you. It's been a great night. I've lost 10 pounds. This has been wonderful. I wanted to tell you about some of the things on the table before I forget. He mentioned that we have some albums back there. By the way, whoever got our album in the drawing there, just bring the 15 bucks back to the table. That's all. Oh, I'm sorry. We have 4 different recordings by the quartet, including a brand new live album called Live at Lake Hills. And we have that on video as well. The video just came out with that video is 80 minutes long. And our previous video we did up at Pasadena is 90 minutes long. So we've got 2 full gospel concerts right there on videotape, as well as 4 CDs. And people are always asking me what our hot deal is, so here it is, folks. CDs are $15, but you can get all 4 of them, or any 4, you mix and match, for $45. So, good deal. Okay. Videos are 20, videos are 20, you can get 2 for $35. And if you buy $30 or more from our table, you can go over to the New Creations table, take anything you want.
Can I ask you a question? Do you know why we say amen and not a woman?
Oh, not gonna touch that.
It's because we sing hymns and not hers. We want you to know that if you buy any of our recordings and you're not perfectly satisfied, that's tough.
Always want to say that. Now you know why he was gone for 2 years. Now we appreciate very much your support for us through the table and through the offerings and everything. We are a non-profit organization. We didn't plan it that way. That's just how it's worked out so far. I want to do a song from the newest album. When we did Up in Chicago earlier this evening, which was a great song from our first video. And I told Greg, I said, I want you to find a song that's got the same kind of impact, same kind of power that song did. And he brought us a song that's actually been on the country music charts. But I'll tell you, the gospel message in it is unmistakable. Listen as he tells you a story about a little girl.
Parents never took a young girl to church, never spoke of his name, never read, heard his word. 2 non-believers walking lost in this world took their baby with them. What a sad little girl. Her daddy drank all day and mommy did drugs, never wanted to play or give kisses and hugs. She'd watch the TV and sit there on the couch while her mom fell asleep and her daddy went out. And the drinking and the fighting just got worse every night. Behind their crowds she'd be hiding. Oh, what a sad little life.
much every day. Her first day of Sunday school, the teacher walked in, and a small little girl stared at a picture of him. She said, I know that man up there on that cross. I don't know his name, but I know he got on. 'Cause he was there in my own house and held me close to his side. As I hid there behind the crowd, the night that my parents died. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong with good courage. Be not afraid, for the Lord thy God is with you wherever you go. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong. They are weak, but he is
Sing that chorus with us.
Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. The Bible tells me so. Some people say that this old-time religion, it's just a thing of the past. But in this modern age that we live in, it's the only thing that will last. Now you may think I'm a little old-fashioned. Well, friend, that's all right with me. But I'm so glad that I am a Christian. Somebody say amen. And from sin I have been set free. Well, I know, there's no doubt about it. He lives in my heart, and I'm gonna shout it. I know, my sins are forgiven, and I'm on my way to a place that's called heaven. Not long ago, in an old-fashioned meeting, I knelt on my knees there in prayer. He lifted my burdens, said shackles fell from me, and his presence was so real everywhere. And now that this load that I carry is lighter, he's changed my gray skies to blue. My steps are now higher, for I have his assurance, and his sweet love will carry me through. Yes, I know, there's no doubt about it. He lives in my heart, and I'm gonna shout it. I know, my sins are forgiven, and I'm on my way to a place that's called heaven. Come go with me to the land over yonder, prepared for the pure and the true. It's a place where sickness and death cannot enter. I'm going, brother, how about you? Well, it may be today, or it may be tomorrow. He'll return in robes of pure white. I'm packing up now, getting my things together. Who knows? He might come tonight. Well, I know,
just over in the glory land. And I'll sing God's praise and His glory share, just over in the glory land. Just over in the glory land. I'll join the happy angel band, just over in the glory land. Just over in the glory land. There with the mighty host I'll stand, just over in the glory land. Just over in the glory land. I'll join the happy angel band, just over in the glory land. Just over in the glory land. There with the mighty host I'll stand, just over in the glory land. Just over in the glory
Have you enjoyed the Crimson River Quartet?